In our nation's time of need, an elite brotherhood of sailors stand ready off distant shores and shallow rivers, defending freedom. They serve with honor and distinction. I am proud to be one of these sailors.
I am a special warfare combatant craft crewman, a quiet professional, tried, tested, and dedicated to achieving excellence in the maritime special operations. I am disciplined, confident, and a highly motivated warrior.
My honor and integrity are beyond reproach, my commitment unquestioned, and my word trusted. The American people depend on me to carry out my mission in a professional manner.
I maintain my craft, equipment, and myself at the highest level of combat readiness. I set the standard and lead by example. I am responsible for my actions and accountable to my teammates. I challenge my brothers to perform as I expect them to challenge me.
I am ready for war. I will close and engage the enemy with the full combat power of my craft. My actions will be decisive, yet measured. I will always complete the mission. I will never quit, and I will leave no one behind.
My heritage comes from the sailors who operated the PT boats of World War II and the combatant craft of Vietnam. The legacy of these warriors guides my actions. I will always remember the courage, perseverance, and sacrifices made to guarantee our nation's freedom. I uphold the honor of those who have fought before me and will do nothing to disgrace my proud heritage.
At 2,000 feet, the drogue chute pulls an 11-meter rib from a C-130. Special warfare combatant craft crewmen soon follow the rib to the sea. Tracer rounds pierce the morning light. Ears ring, and the thumping of the .50 caliber machine gun massages your insides as dominating, incessant firepower is laid toward the enemy. High speed, sharp turns, the ability to stop on a dime, stealthy and enough firepower to make the enemy think twice about attacking. These are high-performance boats, equipped with state-of-the-art propulsion, navigation, weapons, and communication systems. The men who operate these boats are Special Warfare Combatant Craft crewmen, a major component of naval special warfare known as SWCC. They operate and maintain these state-of-the-art, high-performance craft used in naval special operations missions. Throughout the history of the United States Navy, small combat craft and the men who have crewed them have found their niche to make naval history. Today's special boat teams trace their origins from the PT boats of World War II and the gunboats of Vietnam. SWCC is an elite organization known only by a few. They do the dirty, thankless jobs in places in the world where you can't jump, can't drive, can't walk. Only a boat will get you there. SWCC training is conducted at the Naval Amphibious Base in Coronado, California. SWCC students volunteer for the adventure of a lifetime. It's not an easy course. The training is 22 weeks long, divided into 3 parts. 2 weeks of indoctrination, 8 weeks of basic crewman training, and 12 weeks of crewman qualification training.
SWCC course is actually 3 different schools. You have INDOC, which gets a student administratively ready to train. It physically starts to ramp them up. It gets them used to being in the water, gets them used to doing the exercises, gets them used to training. And that rolls into basic crewman training, which is, it's a very physical course. That's where they're physically trained, learn the rudimentary, bare bones, basic skills of working on a boat. And that gets them ready to move into the last course, which is crewman qualification training.
To qualify for enrollment in SWCC school, you must pass the physical screening test. Maximum effort is required for all exercises. The run-swim times and the push-up, sit-up, pull-up standards are minimum standards only. The physical screening test consists of a 500-yard swim using breast and/or side stroke in under 13 minutes, a minimum of 42 push-ups in 2 minutes, a minimum of 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 6 pull-ups with no time limit, and a 1.5-mile run in under 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Students arrive for training highly motivated, but they also exhibit fear, anticipation, and apprehension.
It seems like this course is really good at making people grow up. We see a lot of motivated guys come here who, like I said, just aren't quite grown up yet. And I think that's one of the biggest things this course does is it asks those people to grow up a little bit faster than it may have been asked to in the outside world.
Students must be in good physical shape when they arrive. Physical training is designed to develop a high level of stamina and endurance to prepare the student for the rigorous demands of the maritime combat environment.
Taking an 11-meter rib out at night in a pretty moderate sea state, say 4 or 5 feet, is the equivalent of going through about 500 car crashes a night.
Such an emphasis on physical training because we really do take a pounding on the boats. The sea state can get pretty bad. You're constantly being exposed to sea states. You don't know when they're going to change. Typical mission, you might start out in a smooth sea. By the time you come home, you're hitting 8 to 10 foot swells, and you really do take a pounding on the boat.
Personnel and barracks inspections are performed to get the students used to accountability and paying close attention to detail.
We hold barracks inspections the same reason we inspect everything. The amount of attention to detail that the job requires is immense. This is the only job in the Navy where an enlisted guy, a first-class petty officer or a chief petty officer, can be the officer in charge of his own detachment. And we're going to give him crypto like the communications officer on an aircraft carrier. We're going to give him automatic weapons. And we're going to send him out and deploy him as the officer in charge of a det. These kids that are coming through training today, they need to start learning that accountability and responsibility, that attention to detail now, so that by the time they become that first-class petty officer, that chief petty officer, it's second nature to them.
Navy core values of honor, courage, and commitment are essential to SWCC training.
The Navy core values, honor, courage, and commitment, come into play every day for these guys. We expect them to bring that into everything they do.
When you're deploying with a det, or when you're deploying with a team or a task unit, you have to know that the guys that are with you have the moral backbone, they have the courage, they have the honor and the pride and the integrity to do that job.
Swimmer skills develop the student's confidence in his ability to survive in the ocean and, if necessary, assist a crewmate under adverse conditions.
They're going to start out in the combat training tank, in the swimming pool. Starting at the end of week 4, beginning of week 5, they migrate out to the bay, and all their swims are in San Diego Bay. In week 6 and week 8, their swims are all in the ocean.
We live on the water. You never know when you're going to have to go in the water to clear jets, going after a down pilot, another crew member that fell overboard. So you start out in the pool, and everything's done in full camis and boots. A lot of drag, a lot more resistance, and if you're not used to swimming like that, it's a lot different. You learn your basic strokes in the pool, and then you take that out into the bay. From the bay, you go out into the open ocean.
By the very nature of working on and in the water, water safety and proficiency skills are extremely important to the boat teams.
We teach what's called the water safety test.
The water safety test includes a water entry from a 10-foot platform, a 25-meter underwater swim, a buddy tow of a simulated unresponsive drowning victim, and a 200-meter swim demonstrating elementary backstroke, basic breaststroke, and underwater recovery side stroke. The student then executes a survival float on inflated BDU pants. Students will correctly perform all these evolutions within a 20-minute time limit.
We teach working on a breath hold. One of the things that we often find driving jet boats for a living is that we ingest things into those jets. You end up under the boat on a breath hold, pulling kelp, pulling stuff out of those